Hey there, I'm Kat, and this is Brews and Reviews. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Buzzword Readathon / challenge that was created by Kayla from Books and Lala. This is a year-long reading challenge where there are prompts for each month, and you just sort of have to go with it. Find the word that is the buzzword or theme for that month and read a book according to that prompt. So I thought I would talk through some recommendations, as I found January particularly difficult and I came across a few that I had read. So I thought, why not share them? If anyone else is having a little bit of difficulty, then maybe you might be inspired by this, might give you an idea if you are struggling with this a little bit. In this video, I'm going to be doing recommendations / suggestions for the first 2 months of the year, and then hopefully, if I remember, because not much going on in there, but hopefully I'll remember to come back and do the rest of the prompts. So let's start off with January and get into some recommendations. So the prompt for January is there, and there. And I personally found this incredibly difficult to find books that had this. I just so happened to have received a book for Christmas that included the word there, so it really made this very easy for me to pick a prompt, but I just don't own many books that include there, or there. So I have 4 recommendations for you guys today, just in case. One of them might be kind of cheating, but it's really not, so we'll see. So the first book on this list is the one that I'm currently reading for my January prompt, and that is There Is No Anti-Memetics Division. Now this is a sci-fi book that is part of the SCP Foundation series. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like an internet black hole that you can fall down where there are things that are unexplainable, and the SCP Foundation investigates them and classifies them and contains them if necessary. So this book is kind of hard to explain, and I would suggest going into this book with your thinking cap on. This is not a book to be reading if you're looking for something that is really easy to read. You have to be switched on while you're reading it, which is something I really like about it. So this book is about a specific division inside the SCP Foundation called the Anti-Memetics Division. And essentially what they deal with is self-censoring entities and information. So if you met one of these entities, you may immediately have forgot that you had met the entity. There's a lot of memory erasure. Some of these entities eat memories, and it's really interesting to see how memories are played with and things that people know that they have forgotten, but they don't quite know what it is that they've forgotten. So I just found it really intriguing, and I am really enjoying it so far, so I'd like to recommend this to other people. If you're interested in sci-fi, SCP kind of stuff, then definitely check this one out. The next book I want to recommend is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. This is a standalone Agatha Christie book. You don't have to have read any of the detective series if you want to read this one. And it's about a group of people who are invited to an island, and then one by one they get picked off. It's a mystery, it's a classic, and it's a very quick read. The next book I want to recommend is There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. This is a young adult thriller about a group of teenagers in high school. There's a lot of mystery in this one. It is a thriller, and students do get picked off in gruesome ways. One by one, we have to find the killer. It gave me very much slasher vibes. I found this a very easy read, and if you're after like a young adult thriller, then I would recommend this one. Now the final book I want to recommend for this category is another there, T-H-E-R-E. I really struggled to find any that involved the other theirs, so if you've got any recommendations for that, leave them in the comments below, but these are just personally ones that I have read. So this one is the kind of cheating one. And it's cheating because the there exists in a subtitle, and that is The Hobbit, or There and Back Again. We're gonna keep that crucially important There and Back Again, which doesn't exist on this copy of the book, but definitely exists on other copies of the book. The Hobbit is a classic fantasy tale. I don't know anybody who doesn't know what The Hobbit is about, but it's about a hobbit, some dwarves, a wizard. We're all going on an adventure. I personally haven't read this book in a very, very long time, and would actually consider rereading this if I hadn't already got it there for this prompt. So those are all the recommendations I have for the January prompt. Let's move on to February. The prompt for February is positive words. And that's also happy words, so basically anything that is vaguely positive, happy, peppy, you know, good stuff kind of words. So the book I'm going to be reading for this one is not in my recommendations list, but I just thought I'd tell you what I'm going to be reading for it, and that is Ace of Spades, because the word ace colloquially can be known as like a really good thing, like ace, fab, wonderful, great. I think it counts. Ace of Spades has been on my TBR for a long time, and I've just been sort of waiting for a reason to read it, and I feel like this is a good enough one, even if I am twisting it a little bit. Ace is positive to me, so I'm counting it as a positive word. So the next recommendation that I want to give is a graphic novel called Chef's Kiss. The word that I'm using as the positive word is kiss, because usually kisses are positive. Not always, but they usually are. This is a very short graphic novel that's sort of a coming-of-age story about a guy who has left college and doesn't really know what he wants to do with himself. So he ends up working as a chef. There's a lot of like positive food stuff in here. There's a really cute pig. And I don't really want to say anything else because I think it would give away the plot, but it's very cute and very easy to read. I also think it was on Kindle Unlimited when I read it, so it might still be there. If you have that, then download it. The next book I want to recommend is The Girl with All the Gifts. Now, the positive word that I'm using in this sense is gifts, because usually there is positivity in gift giving and gift receiving. People are very happy about it. It's a happy thing to give gifts and stuff. That's not really the context of this book, because this is a zombie post-apocalyptic type world, and honestly it's a bad time for pretty much everyone involved. So in this book it starts off after a fungal infection has infected most of the world, and we're in like a military compound where children who have been infected with this fungus are sort of being kept and monitored and studied by a military operation. And things never go well in a zombie apocalypse, so pretty sure you can guess where that's going. So next up there is a graphic novel series called Pretty Deadly. I really like this one for its art style. The positive word that I'm using in this scenario is pretty, not deadly. Deadly is not particularly positive, but pretty, you know, generally used as a positive, happy kind of word. So it's been a while since I've read this book, and even after I just finished it, I was still kind of unsure about what I'd just read. It's a Western style, I think, post-apocalypse type world. It's very interesting. The art is stunning, and I remember really enjoying this series. So if, you know, you wanted a quick graphic novel that is darker Western sort of vibe, then check this one out. Next up I want to recommend Sweet Pea by C.J. Skuse. This is a thriller but also kind of a dark comedy. It follows a woman called Rhiannon who is a serial killer but also just doesn't really get along with people. But she's kind of relatable in a sense that she's mostly a normal person. She starts off most chapters writing a daily list of the people that she would like to kill because of various things that they've done to her or other people, and that includes things like someone who cut her off at a junction in the car, or someone who chewed with their mouth open, or like people who've actually committed crimes. So it's quite an interesting thing, and I really enjoy Rhiannon's voice, so I always recommend this thriller. It's a really good series, and I think the 4th book in this series is about to come out, so it's kind of the perfect time to read the 1st book in this series. And then lastly I want to recommend an audio drama, and that is Sweet Talk. This is the 2nd book in the Love Lines trilogy, but you can read these books out of order and it's no problem. But the way this series is structured is that it's all to do with phone calls, so everything that happens in this book is a series of phone calls. So the premise of Sweet Talk involves a woman accidentally drunk texting someone and then him texting back, and they sort of just go from there. It has dyslexic representation. I thought the banter between the two characters was really fun, and it was so easy to read and just like a really nice listen. So if you're looking for something like that, then I'd recommend this one. Obviously the positive word in this sense was sweet as well. So those are all the recommendations slash suggestions that I have for books that I've personally read and enjoyed that count for January and February's Buzzword Readathon prompts. So I hope you found something here if you are struggling. If you have any ideas that I haven't thought of and you want to like leave them in the comments to help out other people that may find this video, then that would be great also. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!